Good morning, race fans. This is Mike Pettaway coming to you live from the NCQMA in Salisbury, North Carolina, live and in person. And sitting beside me today is it's an honor to have this young man here. He's a member of our broadcast team for Sports Talk, is Mr. Alec Hodges. Welcome to the NCQMA, Mr. Hodges.
Well, thank you, Mr. Pettaway. It's not cool, but it's cool for August. It's an overcast day with scattered showers in the area, but we just had a break in the weather, and hopefully we'll get these cars back out here and running around the track for qualifying. Yeah,
they're doing single-car qualifying, which is pretty self-explanatory. One car at a time comes out on this concrete 1/20th of a mile track. And when they have single-car qualifying, they open up track records, so cars can actually set a new track record today. And we've had maybe 3 or 4 classes come through already, but there is a threat of rain, which has been that for the last couple of days. It did rain a little bit a few minutes ago. The track kind of dried itself. It didn't come a downpour, but it's just that nuisance type of a heavy mist or sprinkle. And they've announced that they're going to continue. Everything looks like it's a go. So we're going to be here for Trackin Live for at least an hour on the air, and then we're going to see how the weather does. We may do the A-mains later on in the afternoon. But, Alec, this is your first exposure to quarter midget racing. Of course, you haven't seen any real, competition yet. You've seen single cars, but what's your impression so far of what we call the best quarter midget track in the country?
I would say there's a lot of camaraderie with the kids. That was my first thing, because I pulled in this morning and I noticed all these kids are on scooters and bikes, and they're all having a good time. Like you said, I've heard you talk about this before. They're all a family, and whether they wreck or they spin somebody out going into turn 3, 4, 1 or 2, whatever. If they get into a wreck and the parents get all upset, and then they're out, in the parking lot, playing around on their bikes and scooters later. And it goes to show that kids will be kids, and I think us adults can learn from these kids and not hold grudges against other people for something that they do to you.
You're right. These kids are just one big happy family. They as soon as they climb out of the car, they've got a football in their hand or a basketball, and they're just having a great time. And but it is competition. I mean, it's these teams come here to win a race, and they invest a lot of time, effort, and money into getting these cars race ready for these young men and young women. So we're hoping to get obviously the rest of the qualifying in. I was looking at the qualifying records, and I just want to mention a name to you that holds the record here and see if you recognize this young man holds the record for single car and batch qualifying in the heavy Honda division. His name is Todd Gilliland.
What?
Yes, who is now making his name known in late models and moving up moving up the ranks. So, Todd, of course, he's the son of Dave Gilliland, who's the Sprint Cup driver. But Todd is a great young man. We went to a race in A Speedway where he raced in the late model, and he's such a gentleman, so well spoken, and we certainly want to wish him well. And another graduate of the NCQMA, and we had the pleasure of interviewing him at a promo night out here, was none other than Ryan Blaney. And Ryan Blaney is a future star in NASCAR.
Yes.
He's doing great in the trucks. He does great nationwide. He's gone out and raced a couple cup races, and the young man just has what it takes to be a race car driver.
Yes, he does.
Of course, he's the son of Dave Blaney, who's a longtime cup driver. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, I think he went to Wesleyan Christian Academy, which is in High Point. Mm-hmm. Had a couple friends, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm hanging out with Ryan, or I'm over at his house, and Dave's here." I was like, you know what? That's just not even fair.
That's cool, isn't it, to do so. And I'm looking at some other record holders, and these names are ones who are racing. And our other co-host for Trackin Live, Mr. Sam Hatfield, who you're actually filling his shoes today, so you got to really be on your toes because Sam's the great announcer.
I have some big shoes to fill.
But Sam holds a record in the heavy 160, and some names that you may hear today if we get racing in. Looks like Ryan Repko is back here. Ryan has kind of graduated away from quarter midgets, but he's here today because he was going to be racing, I believe, in South Boston. He's starting a late model career. He's been up at Motor Mile in South Boston, and I think his mom said he practiced at Hickory this week. And Ryan is very dedicated to racing. He loves the sport. And if you recall, I think it was 18 races in a row he won last year when he was here doing full-time quarter midget racing. So he's a great, besides being a great young driver, Ryan is such a fine young man, comes from a great family, and just great to see those kind of young folks come out here and have a good time. We have another car on the track. It looks like that's might be Marcus Everson.
It is Marcus.
Doing a single-car qualifying run. And I think they do, once you get a couple of laps warm-up, you get a green-white checker flag for your timed laps.
Yeah, they go 3 warm-up laps, and then they have 3 qualifying laps. So you got your green, your white, your checkered after your 3 warm-up laps.
And this is a rookie class, obviously, and Marcus held a pretty good line around the...
He did.
I know if you look up here, and this is your first time here, but you see that black circle that goes around the oval. Well, that's the mark these fast cars hit. They call it a donut. They call this track the donut.
Yeah, he definitely hit his marks where they you see all this rubber as that's been laid down by these quarter midgets. He was hitting his line pretty well. Now,
when they have a bunch of cars on track, Alec, you're going to be amazed at how much talent these young, I call them young kids, are anywhere from 5 years old up to 15, I guess. But how well they are able to get around the track, bumper to bumper, side by side. And it's amazing to me that it's not a wreck fest, but it's not. These kids know how to race.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen these kids hit their marks and drive around pretty well. And
now we have Will Beaupre on the track. Will won his red rookie race the last time we had a points race here. He also, by the way, just looking at the records, on the last race, which was July 19th, during a batch qualifying session where they have also a chance to set a record, Will sets a track record at 7.817 seconds.
Wow.
And this is a red rookie that, that has very little experience racing a quarter midget. I was doing this morning while we were waiting to see if it was going to rain, I went on the computer, the wonderful internet, and looked at these track records and converted them down to a speed based on the 1/20th of a mile. And the faster cars get up to 31, 32 miles an hour.
Wow.
And even these, the slower cars are in the 21 to 23 mile an hour range. So, sitting up here, it doesn't look that maybe that fast. But when you're sitting, a few inches off the ground and you got these cars around you, I'm sure it's pretty intense.
That's crazy because just seeing these cars go around and these kids leaning out the side. Who's the first qualifying group?
That was probably one of the heavy world, not the World Formula, heavy 160 maybe.
Yeah, I think it was a heavy 160. I mean, they're leaning outside their car, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy to see these kids, basically living with no fear.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the name of that on the side of that car. I can't see it when he goes by so quickly. That's the disadvantage of being old, Alec.
It looks like I couldn't tell.
But that driver also is doing a great job of.
It looks like it says Page on the side of it.
So it's. Didn't bring my binoculars, so I can't really tell. But that qualifying run is over. We're going to attempt to get some drivers up here. Leif Trobelsi is. I'm going to let Alec Holt take the mic for a minute. I'm going to see if I can get a driver.
I'll try to. So we have what looks to be like a the movie Frozen paint job on the side of the side of this car.
This is Katie Youngchuck. I was pointing her out to you in a driver's meeting. Little 5-year-old red rookie, and she's already won a couple races. Her dad is Chris Youngchuck that builds the flash engines. We have just been joined in our booth. This really isn't a booth, is it?
No, I would say it's the party deck. Let's put it as a party deck.
Mr. Levi Riffle. Levi, this weather this year has been terrible for NCQMA. It's way too much rain.
Yeah, rain's not been our friend this year, but every track we've gone to, every track we've traveled to hadn't had rain. We've actually raced a lot more than others probably have. But, yeah, I hope we can get this club race in real quick and see what happens next.
Now, you're racing in how many cars today?
Two. I'll be running Senior Animal and Light 160.
Senior Animal and Light 160. Now, the car count's a little bit down, obviously, for a lot of reasons. When people are expecting rain, I'm sure because some of these kids travel from quite a ways to get here, even on a local basis. But when you're out racing, you probably prefer to have an 8 or 9 car field, don't you? Because it's fun when you got all these cars out there.
Yeah, when there's more cars, it's a lot more competitive, but at the same time, it's a whole lot better and a little bit more fun. With all these other cars in there. It's just always a lot of fun with our track because when you go anywhere else at a club race, there's 2 or 3 cars in each class. So when you come here and there's 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 cars in each class, it's really fun.
Yeah, when they have the full contingent come here from the NCQMA, you have some pretty good, like you said, up to 7 or 8 cars in a field, and to watch some of those races and all the intense competition, and it's absolutely fun to watch how these races unfold. Now, you've also you traveled a little bit this year. You've had some races outside of NCQMA. How has your season been going so far?
It's been going pretty good. Riffle Bros Racing has got close to 10 wins already this year. 5 track records, fast times at all different kinds of tracks. We've run Georgia 3 times. There's one track that we've ran twice in Metro Atlanta, and we've also ran our track here at the regional event, and next is Nashville.
Wow.
Now, you probably enjoy going to these bigger events because the best in the country usually show up some of these big races. And who's some of your names that you enjoy racing against?
The regional series, I really like racing against Jackson Bishop and all the guys down from Georgia. All those guys are very competitive, very tough, wheel rolling. There's a lot of people in there, that big names that run these Southeast Regional. The most competitive in the national circuit is Bollinger and Wise and Waymeyer and all those. They're very competitive.
Now, who's this young man on the track doing his qualifying run right now? You probably know this young man, don't
That's
you?
my little brother, Luke. He's running Junior Honda right now.
Now, Luke has been pretty impressive this year. He's come out of his shell, I'd say, and he's really been competitive and done a great job racing.
Yeah, I say he's been most improved driver by far. He's improved a ton this year. Last year, he barely wanted to ride up front. He didn't like the pressure of it, but now he loves being in the front and taking home that checkered flag.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the weekend that you won a big race, Ty Dillon won his race at Brickyard in the Nationwide. Is that right? Yeah.
Well, we went down to Georgia, and Chase Anderson right before I went out in my 160. He showed me a text that his grandpa had sent him, and he said the 3 just won an Indy. So I was like, wow. So I gotta prove that I can do it too with TDR on my car. So I went out there in the 160 and I ended up winning that one. I can't thank my sponsors enough: Team Dillon Racing, TriadSportsCoverage.com, Bryant Shock Technology, Flash Engines, and Robbie Stanley Racing for all they do.
Now, did you win as much money as Ty did?
No, not even close. Not even close. I get the satisfaction of taking the checkered flag.
There you go, and that's really what it's all about, the fun of competition and winning. Well, we're going to have a word with Leif Trabelsi, but you can stick around and come back. We need to have some more words with you about your racing this year. And if Luke wants to come up, I know he's kind of bashful sometimes, but I'd talk to him. But if you'd hand the mic over to Mr. Leif Trabelsi, because I know. Thank you, Levi. Now, I know Leif likes to talk because I've had him on a few times before, and he doesn't mind talking. Is that right, Leif?
Yep.
Yep. And what class are you going to be running in today?
Today I'm going to be running heavy Honda.
Now, you just moved up from the rookie ranks, right? You decided to go to the more competitive classes. Are you excited about racing against some of these kids who raced a lot? You're new here. I mean, you've only raced, you came last year, I guess.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're going to be racing for against the big guns. Does that sound like it's going to be fun?
I think it's going to be fun, competitive. I might be a little nervous and all. So.
But sometimes, I guess it doesn't hurt to be a little nervous, but you want to funnel that energy into doing something positive.
Yep.
Now, this is Alec's first race, Alec Hodges. I think you met him at Bibbs or somewhere maybe.
Somewhere.
But for someone's coming here for the very first time, how would you explain to him what's going to happen and tell him how he should watch these races?
Well, I'd be saying you just have to have confidence in yourself, never be negative, and just run the best line you got. And
have you been on the track today yet?
Not yet. We had actually came in late. We thought it was raining down here, and so we thought it was just a driver's handling meeting and pictures. But instead we came down here and all the cars were here, so we weren't ready, but we were able to sign in and get everything ready. So
I think I might have passed you on the highway because I passed somebody's trailer, I think, coming down here.
Now your grandfather prepares your cars, right?
Yeah, he prepares my car. He was at home because he didn't know there was a race either. So we had to wait for him to come down, and yeah.
So you're excited about we've talked to Levi about the weather has been very uncooperative this year here in NCQMA. Seems like almost every day we race there's a threat of rain. And what was the last time we got almost all the qualifying in, then it rained out everything else. So, the rain is good. We need the rain, but we don't need it on Saturday when we're here trying to race. Tuesday nights when we're trying to get the summer series in.
Yeah, this year Mother Nature's not liking us.
So what's your goal as you move up? Obviously, it's like any level of competition. When you go to a higher level, there's some adjustment time. There's some getting used to. Are you ready to kind of maybe learn from those other drivers and be patient and watch what they do to make you better?
Yeah. I'm probably going to have a few more years in quarter midgets, and then as Ryan Repko does, I might do mini stock or bandolero or something.
So you're going to continue racing and get into the bigger, maybe a late model down the road, or? Yeah.
My papa actually races down at VIR, and I don't know if I'm going to do road course racing.
Have you ever driven a road course?
No.
See, to me that would be fun because, turning every direction that you want, that would be a lot more fun than. This is fun too, but it's go straight and turn left and turn left. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to have you qualified yet?
No, I haven't qualified. Since Luke Akers, he said I think you have a choice not to race or not to qualify and to qualify because in heavy Honda when you move into your new class and it's the first time, then you can actually start last no matter what. So
so you don't need to necessarily qualify because you're going to start in the back anyway.
Yeah. I don't need necessary, but just to get a little practice in. Yeah.
I think it would be beneficial to try a qualifying session just to get the feel of the car.
Yeah. Maybe after the races, I think my papa's probably going to get me a new chain or gear, because he said that he can lower the RPMs and it will make the car roll faster for some reason. Yeah.
Well, good luck to you today. It's going to be fun. Hopefully we can get these races in and we can broadcast them, let everybody know that you're on the track going around and learning a new class of racing, a new competition. But have fun and good luck to you. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
That was Leif Trabelsi, who is in his second season of racing. Levi, do you remember when you first started and you went to the rookie programs and and how I know sometimes some of us who've been here a while, we watch these little rookie classes, and some of the rookie classes are really impressive. And some of them, I know it's intimidating sometimes if you haven't been out there and you got all these flags, you got all these people pointing fingers and telling you do this and do that. It's a learning process, I suppose.
Yeah, it's tough, but also it's a lot of fun, honestly. Rookie, you don't have to worry about any of the points or any of the results or anything. You're just out there to have fun, but, you can have fun in these. I'm not saying that it's not impossible, but, there's a lot more stress to it when there's a lot more cars and it's a competitive class and when you're going for the win. But, I only had one other rookie in my class when I graduated, and he is no more racing, so I'm the only rookie standing in my rookie division. So these rookies now, there's a ton more rookies than what we used to have. We had 3 or 4 rookies every time we went out, but there's close to 20 rookies now.
Yeah, they do a good job with promoting a track. These promo days where kids come in, have never been to a track before, and they get the chance to jump in one of these cars, and before they leave, they've kind of caught the fever, I think, and then it becomes the fact of, are we going to invest the money and let them come out here and race? And I think you agree, Levi. You can look at some of these rookies, and you can almost predict they're going to be good drivers because it kind of comes to them really easily.
Yeah, the families, most of the families have racing backgrounds and everything, but, you can about look and see who's going to be a better driver.
So what is when you guys are out there racing competitively, what's going through your mind? Because I know sometimes you'll have double wide racing, and it'll be lap after lap. And I'll be standing at the finish line. I'll see the eyes of the drivers come by, but are you trying to size up what's in front of you so you can maybe get around and do some things and try to get to the front?
Yeah, this type of racing is split-second decisions. In bigger cars, bigger racetracks, you got more time, but this is you're going close to 3 seconds each straightaway, and you don't have much time to think, and that's how quarter midget drivers advance and do good in these other divisions, because they think faster, they know how to drive. This takes a lot of skill. Nobody notices it, but it takes a lot of skill to think, use your mind mentally and physically.
Well, see, I've always said I've been impressed with how well you guys get around the track. You don't run over each other. It's like, and I think that's developing something that you guys can use down the road. Awareness of what's around you. You got to know what's around you. If you don't, you're going to cause all kinds of problems.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think these drivers are better because they have their eyes open. They have their eyes open all the time, and they're always ready for the wreck in front of them or anything in front of them when they can capitalize, and that's what helps them in the earlier divisions.
Another thing that I've been really impressed with is the safety built into these cars, because as Alex is going to maybe witness later on today, you do get some rollovers, some airborne cars, and because these cars are touchy, when you run up on somebody's wheel, you may go anywhere. But you know what? They always climb out and walk away. And really, Levi, the only ones that are terrified are the parents. The kids are usually hanging upside down laughing because it was a joyride. Occasionally you get banged up, but there's never any big injuries.
Yeah, the parents usually freak out and say, "Ooh, it's an open-wheel car." Well, the open-wheel cars are very safe. They've got roll cages. The kids are very strapped in. They're secure. There's nothing that's going to fly out of the car or anything that's going to happen to these kids. You look at some of the kids, they are strapped in very well. They're always driving hard. But, they're always tucked in that steering wheel.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed is they have enough leeway to where they can pop open their visor, pull it back down. And these cars, even though they're very open, they're very safe too.
Yeah.
So what did you qualify on your did you do a light 160 qualification?
I haven't qualified 160 yet. I have run senior animal.
How did you do on your qualification?
I ran a 6.1 something. I think the track's off by about 1/10 of a second.
Is it?
The track just doesn't have as much rubber as usual. As you know, the rain maybe have washed it away or something. Because I don't think there's been much people on the track this morning, so there's not much rubber there. But as the day goes on, that rubber will build and it'll get better.
By the way, Levi holds the batch qualifying senior animal record, which he set the last time we raced here on July 19th, 5.986.
Yeah, people don't look at it the way that I do, but those bumps cause you a lot of time.
Uh-huh.
And when you can run that fast around this track with those bumps and run the whole track, I know my car's good and I know my car's fast. When Ryan Israel set the batch qualifying record when I beat it, he had the bumps to his advantage that he could go right over. So, the big bumps have actually changed a lot, but when your car's that fast and can beat a car that had an advantage going over those bumps is quite a thrill.
So with these new rumble strips they got, which are almost like parking curbs in a parking lot, you don't want to hit those because they will set your car going into the wall. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys come across turn 1 and 2 and go straight into the wall here.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to touch those. You want to get real close to them, but you don't want to be right on top of them.
I think it was Levi that asked the president last year on one of our shows. I asked him, is there anything you want to ask Mr. Painter? And Levi says, could you get rid of those bumps in the corners? Because they were something different, new, and you had to learn that you can't go up on them down here anymore. You got to be right on the edge of them, as you say.
Yeah, it's a killer. But honestly, when you had those short bumps that you could ride right over, we were running all different lines. But now every single car out on the track is running the same line, and that's how I think it is a disadvantage to us. But honestly, I think it helps us in a driver mentality. I think it helps us in all types of ways.
That was Connor Yunchuk, who's one of the top drivers, and you notice how close he was, Alec, on turn 1 and 2.
Oh, he was hitting those rumble strips
right up toward him. So he knows how to get around this track really, really quickly. So he's one of the top drivers here. That you'll see his name a lot on the podium when they have races here.
I was watching him as he was coming around during his warm-up laps. I mean, he was hitting those. He was hitting those strips.
Yeah, you can nip them, and it may cost you a little bit of time, but you can nip them and it'd be okay. But you can't just go right over them like you could the old bumps.
This is Nick Loden, who's also another one of the good drivers down here at the NCQMA, and Nick's won his share of quarter midget races. He also, you see the line he's got in the corners is right down on the bottom.
Yeah, when he just moved up from the junior Honda division, and so did Gage Painter, Neil Allison, Connor Yunchuk, and they've actually done quite well in the bigger divisions.
Now, explain to me how it would be different driving a junior animal versus driving a senior animal. What's the difference in the cars?
The speed. They have the senior animals have a lot more horsepower and a lot more speed and a lot more RPMs. The junior animal is just it's kind of slowed down for the juniors, but once you get up to those senior classes, you can feel the speed.
So, what is the first class above the Blue Rookie? Where would you go to when you move up?
Blue Rookie depends on all of your age, your weight. Blue Rookie you usually move up to junior Honda, but heavier, you go to heavy, and senior Honda is if you're a bit older.
So there's something to do with the weight and the size of the driver dictates if you're heavier or the light or junior Honda.
Yeah.
So this is looks like Lucas Sipka, I believe it is. His dad's over at the on pit lane looking at Lucas get around. He's got a pretty good line too, Levi. He's coming down a little bit high on that turn.
Yeah, see, Lucas moved out of Blue Rookie, and he's in senior Honda. Just because he was a bit older, he had to move straight into those senior classes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw it, but on his first or second warm-up lap, he got pretty loose out here in turn 2.
Yeah, see, the track has no rubber right now as of where we are.
Yeah, I've noticed there's been several occasions this year where Lucas has spun out. I don't know if it's if they're having a little bit of an issue trying to get his car set up right, but you'll see some of these cars that they'll come around the corner and their rear end wants to trade places with the front end, and it's just a matter of how they got the car set up. Now Levi and Luke with their dad Joey and their grandpa, they know how to set these cars up. You won't see any, and from a casual observer, you won't see anything like that from the Riffles because they've got their cars tuned just right. Would you agree with that statement? I know sometimes you get out of the car and you say, "Dad, that was way too loose," but I mean, you have the experience that you can go to a problem and fix it.
Yeah.
Now we have it looks like, is that a one of the Thomas drivers? I don't know which one that is, but that is a.
I think that's Dylan Thomas.
Dylan, it might be Dylan Thomas. I know that's his dad over there at the start-finish line. It is amazing how you can see the difference in the speeds of the different cars. Like when the War Formulas come out here, besides being loud,
yeah,
they're pretty fast too.
You know, when you're sitting up in the stands, you can't tell much of a difference. You know that they're going fast around this little track, but you know, when you're sitting in the stands, you can see. I can see it. I don't know if anybody else can, but you know, I can see the difference in speed. You know, you have to crack the throttle and World Formula just to get around the corner, so you know that's fast.
Now, is that the only class where you have to breathe a little bit on the throttle?
On the USAC circuit, there is light A and heavy A. Those are older mod motors, which are kind of modified. Which back then it used to be like a World Formula. So,
so there's plenty of chance to go fast, I guess. And of course, these rookies, I'm sure it feels like they're going really fast because it's all new to them. We have another Everson. This may be Jack. I think Marcus was out earlier.
Now, Levi, tell us how many sets of tires do you guys bring to the track?
On this day, qualifying wise, we usually buy right. We usually buy right sides. Left sides we usually don't buy as much as rights because the rights are actually the rubber tires, which actually affect you more than the left sides do.
Now, we just saw him get loose, and you were talking about how there's hardly any grip out here. There's no rubber out on the track.
Yeah, and the 5 laps that they're out here, they don't have much time to get heat in the tires either. So,
yeah. So, whenever you change tires, how difficult is it to come back out on the track, whether it's whether there's a lot of grip on the track or there's no grip on the track? How hard is it to transition from the tires you were running to new tires? You
know, when you put the new tires on, I can feel a difference. I can feel how I'm going to drive it. I mean, you have to run maybe a lap or two before you ever figure out how to get it drive it in the corners, how to turn that steering wheel, and how to keep it straight.
I believe this is Dylan Lale, I believe it is, doing his qualifying run. We're trying to get everything under our belt here so we can get some A-main racing, hopefully. I mean, the clouds are around. It's certainly threatening to rain.
Oh, yeah, they're all around us.
But, is it what they call the vortex? You get the cars going around and around, and you keep the rain out of the racetrack. But I don't know if we have enough speed to create a vortex here with one car on the track. But whatever we can do to prevent the rain is what we'll go for. So you're scheduled to qualify in the next few minutes, I guess?
Yeah, I think it is Light World Formula, Heavy Honda, and then Light 160. So I'll have to leave here in a few minutes.
Do me a favor when you leave, see if Mr. Stanley wants to come up and talk to us. I told him I wanted to talk to him sometime. So now we got another car on the track, number 4. We need to have you guys put your names on top of your car so we can tell who you are.
I think that's Thomas McDonough.
Thomas McDonough, yep. I've interviewed Thomas a few times. He's a great young man. He's very adept to racing. He knows how to to analyze his car. It's really fun, Alec, when you interview some of these young drivers, how well versed they are and what they're trying to do. And like Levi, obviously, and I mean to know the car is loose in the corner, it's tight in the corner, or it's this or that, you know. And
I tell you what, Levi could hold his own in a conversation with
Jimmy Johnson,
Jeff
Gordon,
anybody like that.
I've raced for 4 years, and I figured out what to say, what to do to the cars. I've watched Dad in the garage, in the shop almost every night when he's home. But you know, I've learned how to set up these cars and how to work on race cars, and that's the thing. These kids are learning about these cars and how to drive them and how to work on these cars.
You know, Alec is going to be heading to Bowman Gray later on, and your grandmother's car, driven by Lee, is leading the modified points.
Really?
Yeah, she said she wants it to rain the rest of the year. Honestly, she told me that she didn't want it to rain anymore. I mean, she wants it to rain all the time because he's got the 1 point over Danny Bond, I think, and she wants to keep it that way without tearing anything up.
Well, Danny won last week.
Danny Bone won that big.
Danny won last week.
But
it was the 199 lapper, I think.
But Lee's never won a title, but Robert has won way back in the day, I guess.
Yeah.
But your mom's looking for you to go racing. Look at that. Levi's going to have to skip out, but when you get time, come back up anytime, Levi. Thank you, man. That was Levi Riffle. And, you know, Levi is... I know we say this an awful lot, but he's an example of the kind of young people that come down here and race at this quarter midget track.
Yes.
I mean, they're just classy young men, young women. But, you know, when you strap them into those little cars and you buckle that helmet up, they have one thing in mind, that's to get to the front. So that's why I hope that you get to see some real good action today,
I
Alex.
hope so, too.
Because it's going to be very interesting, very entertaining.
Now, do you know what class is this? Do you know?
I don't really know. That's Hunter Hutchins. That's probably one of the. I just lost my paper.
Awfully loud.
That's probably a heavy Honda, maybe.
I tell you what.
It sounds like your neighborhood hot rod without a muffler, doesn't it, when it comes by?
More like a weed eater.
Well, pretty strong weed eaters. So Hunter has finished up with his qualifying. Now we've got, looks like Abigail Kinney is in the hot chute, getting ready to be pushed out. She's in the that bright green car. If you recall, when we did our pre-race show at Farmhouse Restaurant in
I do.
Salisbury, well,
I definitely remember that color, that bright, that
what is it called?
Like Volt green or something like that.
Anyway, if you turn the lights out, you're going to be able to see
right.
it.
If somehow the sun just disappears right now, we would all be able to see her car.
So I think we're going to have Abigail up first, and I believe that's Lace Trobelsi, who looks like he's lined up in the hot chute behind Abigail, so he'll be running his qualification laps. It's gone, I guess, fairly quickly so far. We're getting down to the end, and of course, like we said, folks, there's not a big car count here today, but that doesn't it doesn't matter how many cars are here. These kids are all here to race hard, and I'm anxious to see to watch Alec see his first full competitive race, because the first time I came down here, I was absolutely amazed that it's a whole different. It takes a whole different mindset to be able to be competitive in these quarter midget races. And
now, this is true racing.
Yes,
it's not any of this. Let's get strung out and follow the leader kind of racing. This is true.
That is the one and only Ryan Repko has made a reappearance at the quarter midget track, and you can tell the experience of what he's doing. Look at his line, how he follows that black circle around, gets right down on that bump.
Now, he is glued to that line, that donut. He is glued to it.
So he just finished his last qualifying lap. hopefully we can get Ryan to come up after he climbs out of his car. Maybe we can get him to come over and talk to us about his qualifying run.
I tell you what, coming to the start-finish line going into turn one, it actually did look like he was sideways. But then I looked down again, and I'm like, no, he's just actually hitting his line. He's stuck to that line.
Now we got Neil Allison. For those of you who have gone to the new NCQMA website, Neil's mother, Michelle, is a contributor, and she's written a couple of really cool articles that you need to go read at ncqma.com. She's going to be providing some entertaining and informative articles throughout the year. So we appreciate her getting involved with the club's website. It's a new website that was just launched in the last couple of weeks, and we've been doing a lot of work, the club has, on getting some upgrades, and it's been a great experience for all of us. Neil is also a very good race car driver. He wins his share of races. And when he climbs out of the car, you're going to see a small in stature, but he's big in heart because he really loves what he's doing.
Now, how fast these are?
These are the
heavy Hondas.
They might be the Light World Formulas.
And how fast? And those go?
They're right above the 6-second level. I mean, the records are 5.9 and 5.8. So this is Abigail Kinney with the bright green farmhouse restaurant car. Abigail is also one of these drivers that has really improved as she's gotten more seat time. You can tell that some of these drivers that I saw last year that were just getting started in some of the competitive races, it's a little bit intimidating when you go out and race against someone who's been doing this for 4 or 5 years, and it's your first time. But Abigail is she's a very methodical driver. I think she understands how to get around. You can smell that fuel burning.
Yep.
But we're at a racetrack, man.
Hey,
you can smell it.
That's like home to me.
Oh man.
If I'm out on a racetrack and I'm not smelling any gas, and that something's wrong.
I don't know if she had a leak, or sometimes they'll have gas leaks, and it becomes a big. Obviously, it's a safety issue.
Yes.
But now we've got the young man that was on our show a few minutes ago, Leif Trebelsi. He's just came up from the Blue Rookies into the heavy Honda category. And these, actually the heavy Hondas are records around 6.2, so we'll see what kind of times they get today and if we can set a new track record. But as Levi said, there's not much rubber on the track and not a whole lot of grip out there. The Lace is he came a little bit wide out of turn 1.
Did.
Back on the mark in turn 3 and 4, but there you go. But then he still comes a little bit wide, coming directly out of turn 2. He's on his white flag lap.
Comes a little wide out of turn 2 into 3 and 4. So,
but the good thing is that he did not wreck the car, did not bend up anything. He's coming out in one piece, and that's what you want to do when you come down here, is bring the car home the same way you brought it to the track.
Down, yeah.
Here comes Macy Curry, young lady who, to me, she's one of these drivers, too, that is just improved in leaps and bounds over last year. And besides that, her cars are really fast. That's her dad directly across from me, Phil Curry. Her cars are fast, and she knows how to get around this track.
Yeah, her car is really fast.
Yeah, and she's really putting herself into the racing this year. It's obvious when you see her amongst the competition. She will get her way to the front. Put it to you that way. She has the driving skill and the car that can win most any race. She comes through the checker flag and completes her qualifications. And our final heavy Honda competitor is going to be Mr. Luke Akers. Luke is also a graduate of the rookie classes from last year. He raced in the red and blue rookie classes, did a great job. And they've had a little bit of a struggle in the competitive heavy Honda class because they're going against a lot of experience.
Right.
And Luke's only had a limited number of rookie races last year, but he again is another one of these examples of a great young person who has a great attitude, a great. He's well mannered, very much wanting to be a race car driver, and we'll see how he does. He takes the green flag for his timed laps. Looks like he's got a little bit loose coming out of 4 and did a little hop skip. Now he comes back with the throttle down.
Yeah,
he turns
got loose again at 4.
So that's going to, I believe, there may be one more car. That orange car may be I can't really tell by. Yep, it's a heavy Honda. That's one of the Anderson boys. That was Brett Anderson pushing the car off. This is Brandon Anderson. He's the middle of 3 boys that race down here. Brandon's also, I got to tell a story about last year at the, I think it was at the one of the national events here at NCQMA, and I happened to be taking pictures, and Brandon came out of turn 1 and did a flip and landed upside down in the tires, inside the tires. And I just happened to be clicking the pictures, but his grandmother was here, and she was rightfully so having a fit. And Brandon he was grinning from ear to ear, because there's no hurt or anything. But it's fun. It's fun to see how these kids respond and how they get out of all these horrendous-looking accidents. But I know that it's very nerve-wracking to see one of your children or grandchildren, because you'll see some accidents that look. It's like the Cup races now, where they get into some really tremendous wrecks where the car is totally dismantled and the driver is totally safe in his little cocoon. And that's how they build these cars. You don't go out and do those wrecks on purpose, but they are exciting to watch. I mean, it's but you don't want to be the person in the car. But as long as we're all getting out and walking away, then I guess it's something we can look back at and say, wow, that was interesting.
You said some of those wrecks aren't on purpose. Go to Bowman Gray, and some of them are on purpose.
I'm not talking about Bowman Gray. I'm talking about here and the Cup races. But, yeah, these kids here, this is Neil Allison again with another classification.
Macy Curry got the
6.5 in a heavy Honda. You could tell by looking at
her
on the track. She just looked faster on the track.
Her car was really fast in qualifying.
So we're down to, looks like Nick Loden is up next in his, this will be the final class of qualifications, and it's 11:48 Eastern time, so it actually has gone pretty smoothly.
Considering the fact that we were on the air at 11.
Yep, we actually made it on. See, a lot of times when we come down here to go on the air, because of a lot of things beyond our control and beyond the club's control, you can never put out an ironclad schedule, because drivers' meetings sometimes can go longer than expected. Qualifications, when you have batch qualifying, you'll have, I think it's 3 or maybe 3 cars on the track. And you try to tell them to keep an equal distance between them. Mm-hmm. But some of the lower classes that are less experienced, they don't quite understand that philosophy, and you'll cause a wreck. You'll get in the way of a car coming up on you. Now, Nick Loden,
that was a good qualifying session for him.
Nick is a great young driver, sponsored by Ingersoll Rand. He represented Ingersoll Rand at the SEMA, I think it was, in Las Vegas. He's a well-spoken young man. He's one of these young drivers, Alec, who's, for the most part, you'll think he's very bashful and you won't say anything. But when he gets ready to talk, you just step aside, and he's very intelligent. He's got race knowledge, understands. But he's, and the thing too about these young drivers, you'll be hard pressed to find one that I would call cocky and with a big head. they're all on equal playing ground as far as they're concerned.
Right.
And none of them strut around like they're better than anybody else. And that's what's really impressive, because you've got drivers that have won, like a Ryan Repko, who's probably one of the winningest drivers ever been on this track. He's no different when you talk to him than a red rookie.
Right.
And that's what's impressive about these young drivers. So we're down to our last. This is the one with looked like we got a riffle coming up next.
I
maybe
think, probably.
Is that or is that another Repko? I think it's a Repko. It might be John Michael, Ryan's younger brother.
Can't tell. All I know is I see the TSC on the front of the
Oh,
the
is that TSC in front of it?
I'm pretty sure it is.
If it's TSC, then it'll be Levi. But I think that might be.
It looks like a TSC.
But it's got. I think that's the.
No, it's got yellow in it.
Yeah, I think that's a Talon chassis logo for John Michael Repko, because that's his mom and dad getting him secured in the vehicle. That's one thing they do too in the hot shoot is before you're allowed to go on the track, they check every buckle, every belt. You have to be strapped in properly. Your race receiver has to be working if you're in a race, or they will. They just don't let you on the track unless all the safety devices are operating properly and the car is set up right. So here comes John Michael. Now, John Michael has not had the number of wins that Ryan has, but last year on I believe it was a Tuesday night race, John Michael beat Ryan. Ryan was on his bumper, and it was so gratifying to see that. And I think Ryan was even happier for John Michael because he just couldn't catch him. He'd get up to him, and John Michael would scoot right away from him. So it was that was a big race that I think might have been one of my favorite races, just the way it panned out, because you had the winningest driver right behind him, and just couldn't get around John Michael.
He had a good qualifying session there.
So he takes the checker flag in his exit to the pit road. So that's the first qualifier in the light 160 race. Here comes another. This is another Repko, and this would be the big gun Ryan Repko. Ryan has the number 14 on his tail cone. You'll see it, Alec.
Yep.
That's the number on his limited late model that he's racing.
Wow.
He started up at Motor Mile, I think, South Boston. Ryan is a kid that his attitude is look at him hit his marks.
Yeah, he's hitting it.
He's done so many laps around this track. But, I've talked to him a few times about him moving on to a different style of racing. And his attitude is, when I go to a late model race, my intent is to listen and learn.
Right.
And not go in there and be a hot shot that's going to do everything. And I think he's going to gain the respect of these more experienced drivers. I mean, some of these guys he races against are old enough to be his grandfather probably, but he respects that, and he's trying to earn their respect, and that will take him a long ways in racing.
And he's how old?
Ryan I think he's 15.
Wow.
Now we've got Delana Hodge, and I know there's a lot of improved drivers in this series, in this club, and there's debate on who would be the most improved. But from the way she drove last year and to what she's doing now, I've been absolutely amazed. She is a contender. We were doing a race one Tuesday night up here, and she, by the luck of the draw, she started 7th on the field, shotgun on the field. And I remember telling Sam, I said, I'd keep an eye on number 7. Well, she won that race.
Wow.
She methodically goes through the field. She knows how to pass cars. She knows how to set them up in the corners. She doesn't wreck cars to get around them. And as I say all these good things about her, she got the media curse. She spins out coming to the checker. But she is let's see what she's going to do. She's going to go ahead and call it quits for her qualification. Yeah. But I think that this may be the car that she had a little bit of an issue with in one of the races she was spinning out. I think they're trying to get the grip on this car.
Yeah, she came out of turn 4 and just lost it. She got real loose and just lost it.
Here comes a TDR machine of Levi Riffle with a neat-looking TSC logo on the nose. we'll see if Levi can practice what he preaches here on the air. He talked about hitting the line and being right up against the rumble strips. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job, Alec.
I would say so. He's hitting his marks, getting real low into the turns, coming out. He's going high. Hey, he's hitting his spots, and I haven't seen him hit the rumble strips at all. So he's had a pretty clean run.
As they say, this ain't his first rodeo.
Nope, not at all. Hey, speaking of rodeo,
yes, we had a
bull rider on.
Bull rider on our sports talk show, and Josh is such a great young man. I mean, just the fact, and doing bull riding is, that's pretty special. You got a lot of guts to do that. So now we've got looks like Connor Youngchuck, who's also another great driver. We've been joined in our broadcast vantage point, I guess we'll call it, up here. We're sitting up here on the backstretch up by the tower, and we've got Mr. Luke Akers, who just completed his qualifications in the heavy Honda. Welcome to the show, Mr. Akers.
Thank you.
Now, we noticed we were up here critiquing your laps, and what was going on in turn 4 with your car? Is it still need to get a little bit more bite in, or what's going on with the looseness?
It was way too loose,
Way
but
too
I think we went into the corner earlier, and when I came off the corner, my back end just wanted to spin out.
So you're going to be able to race okay, though. I mean, it's, you probably, were you the, was there 4 or 5 cars in your?
There's 5, and Lath, this is his first time, so he has to go to the back, so I'll probably be 4th.
So you'll be going against Brandon Anderson and Macy Curry, and they both have a lot of experience in these competitive races. What do you think, what's your I'm not trying to listen to the background at the times, but what's your plan for the race? You'll be starting outside of the second row. You'll be 4th, right? What's your plan to try to get to the bottom as soon as you can, or how are you going to approach your race?
Well, I'm not really sure. I think the right plan would be to go to push second place and hopefully just get a run so we could use that outside to start working.
So I think Macy was a fast time, so she'll be on the pole.
I thought it was Abigail. Maybe Abigail. I'm not sure.
I thought Macy had the fast time.
No track records were broken, which is understandable. There's no rubber on the track, and it's not a very
it's not
conducive to getting a lot of good
the
speed.
Conditions aren't right.
But it should be great racing, I think. Don't you think, Luke, it's going to be some great racing?
Yeah, sure. It should be fun-packed.
Now, you're going to be you'll be in your heavy Honda car, and I know that this is your first year in the competitive racing, and I think I've probably asked you this many times, but there's a lot of difference in racing in Blue-Red Rookie versus getting into these kids who race for 4 or 5 or more years, isn't it? A whole lot more difficult, more competitive.
More bumping, too.
More bumping. Now, that brings up a good point because, in stock car racing, rubbing is racing, but out here, when you got a faster car and you're in front of and you're behind somebody, do you use that chrome horn and try to get their attention that, and to me, if maybe I would, if I was in front and I knew this person kept banging me, that I knew they were faster, you might want to let them by, but then you don't ever want to give up a spot because it's hard to get them back, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now, have you ever been the victim of somebody says, I want to get around you, and they make sure you get out of the way?
I don't think so.
But it's just a lot of contact because it is close racing. I mean, if you get 5 cars out there that are pretty much equal speed-wise, and you get them on this small track, you're going to be in a crowd a lot of the time.
Yes.
Do you get nervous when you have a lot of cars around you, or you just kind of? Because it probably feels good when you pass somebody, where you can go under them and leave them behind you.
Feels a whole lot.
It does feel really good. Now, who's your primary sponsor on your race team? I know you got a sponsor you're really happy about.
Garwood Custom Cycles.
And Garwood is, as people know, it's custom motorcycles. He has quite a inventory of bikes on his showroom floor up in Lexington. So if you're looking for a bike, you need to go to Garwood and talk to him about
yes,
some cool looking equipment. Some of those paint schemes are unbelievable. And I noticed we're doing a project with Luke, doing some video, and Luke's been he's been welding, he's been fabricating, he's been doing everything, and we're going to put a little video together for him for his Facebook page.
Awesome.
And we've got some cards we've created for Luke. And Luke's one of these young men that has such a great attitude that you just can't help but root for somebody like that.
Right.
With a great attitude, just loves racing, and knows that there's more to it than winning the races down here. Don't you agree with that, Luke?
Yes, sir.
Because you've made a lot of good friends. You guys always get along, and you've made friendships here that'll probably last a lifetime. And I'm sure that someday, whether you're racing or if you're a commentator, you're going to still be in and around the racing world. So I think it's going to be fun for you.
Yes,
well, good luck to you today. And by the way, Luke's mom is Tracy is taking photos for Triad Sports Coverage today, and she does a remarkable job. I mean, sometimes you wonder, maybe I shouldn't even be taking pictures because these other people are so much better than I am. So we look forward to her getting some more great pictures, and we look forward to your race. And if everything goes as planned, we're going to come back and do the A mains. And if you're around, want to come do some commentary, you can certainly come up and do it. We'll welcome you up here. Okay.
I'll try to.
Okay. Good luck today, Luke.
Thank you.
That was Luke Akers from Lexington, North Carolina, who is a heavy Honda competitor. So it looks like the qualifications, Alec, are over. And what we usually do for Tracking Live is we have our show during qualifying, and then we go off the air for a little bit, give us a chance to. I know you're probably starving.
And I haven't had anything to eat this morning.
And we will come back. We'll put it on Twitter what time we're going to come back for the A mains. They usually take about an hour break, give or take a few minutes. It's 12:01 in the afternoon here in Salisbury, North Carolina. So we're going to go ahead and sign out for now, get the A main lineups. And if you don't hear anything else from us on Twitter, come back around 1 or 1:15, but we'll put it on the Twitter exactly what time to expect us back on the air. We'll have, as we say, we'll get the lineups. We'll talk about some of the qualifications. We'll try to find some more guests to come on during the races. It's kind of been a hurry scenario here this morning. And they did a great job of getting qualifying done within about 90 minutes. So they started around 10:30 or 10:45. So they did a good job. The weather's still threatening. There's this sun trying to come through above us, Alec, but I don't know. But we'll see how the weather either cooperates or doesn't cooperate, and we're going to go ahead and sign off for now and stay tuned to our Twitter account for an update on when we'll be back for live A-main action from the quarter midget track in Salisbury. It'll be brought to you by Flash Products from Lexington, North Carolina. They build all the best engines in quarter midget. At least that's what all the drivers tell me. That's the engine to have. So for Alec Hodges, Alec, have you enjoyed the first Tracking Live show?
Oh man, it's awesome.
I mean, I
enjoy this a lot.
A whole different ball game, they say, doing this. So we'll be back on the air within about an hour. So stay tuned to the website, and thanks for joining us. And we'll be back for the A mains.
Adios.